What is happening, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I thought we'd go back in time and take a look at one of my first PCs that I ever built. Well, not my first, but one of them. It is my fire pit PC. So I started off with just a regular old fire pit. I thought I'd get a really good paint job on it. I used a 2-pack black gloss paint, and these are the final results. Each panel had the middle section removed to create those windows, and they were exactly the same as that back panel, so a lot of Dremel work involved. This is the bottom section where I've housed the power supply and all of the liquid cooling gear, the 2 radiators on the outside, and then at the back I had to create a back section to join my motherboard tray onto, and just join other things onto, create slots so that the fan hubs would fit in nicely so that I could simply press a button and change them to whatever color I want. It is now time to fill this build after doing all the tube bends, and I'm pretty happy with these tube bends as well. I also created my own custom reservoir, which is housed within that dragon to the right that you can see. Now, at first, I filled this build with a Mayhem's yellow Aurora. I thought it would match the cables really nice, especially seems that they have some yellow sleeving involved. Now, the Mayhem's Aurora was going through the system quite nicely, looked absolutely beautiful, especially under that Corsair Link white light, which was up above and hidden under the lips of the panels. So I'm constantly filling it. You can see that the reservoir is filling up as well. But what is starting to happen is it's starting to churn up the liquid, and I'm getting a lot of froth within the build. Now, this could be because I didn't put the fill port higher enough, and I also didn't make it easy for myself to fill the build. I have the fill port actually in the through panel fitting, which you could see the tube joining onto. So it's not ideal. Ideally, you want the fill port at the highest point in the build, but as with all computer mods, you want to try and make something a bit different and things crazy. So I didn't have the opportunity to add an extra fill port to the reservoir itself because of how small the reservoir had to be in order to fit it inside that dragon. So the liquid's running through fine and nice. We've still got a lot of air bubbles in there, which is to be expected, of course, when you're first filling. The Aurora looks really nice within the water block. You can see it running through there, but you can see up the top we're starting to get all of this froth. Now, I'm sure if I left it for a bit that froth would disappear. However, I didn't have the time. This was 2 days before PAX, so I had to remove all of that liquid and fill it with distilled water. And what I was going to do is I was going to take the build down there with distilled water and then go and pop into the PC shop and get some yellow dye. That was my best option at this point. So you can see it running through here. I love these shots with all of the bubbles going through the liquid and coming out. It's quite refreshing to see, actually. Just sort of puts you in a really good mood. That is a close-up shot of the reservoir. And here was a brilliant moment in time, getting that big bubble out. But, of course, nothing goes to plan. We've got a little sneaky bubble coming in, and it pulls that big bubble back up. So a little bit of shaking with the PC, and we get to remove all those air bubbles. So this is what the build looks like now. This is how I'm going to take it to PAX at the moment before we actually go to the store and get some yellow dye. And by the way, those yellow cables actually look really nice in this build. So this was at the hotel, guys. I had been to about 3 PC stores to try and find some yellow dye, and no computer store in Melbourne had them. So what did I have to do? I had to settle for some yellow food dye. I went down to Woolworths, I bought some yellow food dye, and I've put it within this system. Now keep in mind, I don't know if this would actually do anything to the system. I know that dyes are food based anyway, so it shouldn't be too bad for the system. So the thing with this is I'm not actually going to be keeping this build up and running. This will be pulled apart when we got home. So the yellow food dye is going to be really nice. Now, unfortunately, it does look a lot like wheat or even beer. So in the end, that's what we had to settle for. And to be honest, it still looks pretty good. not bagging out that yellow dye at all. It actually turned out really nice. But let's go through the specs. We have the MSI X-Power Gaming Z170A titanium motherboard, an i7 6700K CPU, two MSI GTX 970s in SLI, 16GB of Kingston HyperX Predator RAM. We have a Corsair RM 1000 watt power supply and a 256GB Samsung SSD with a 2TB hard drive. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one.